Hey guys, what's going on? Kare here from BuzzGadgets.com, and today in this video we've got a review of the HTC Thunderbolt. Along with the review here, we're going to be doing a side comparison with the Apple iPhone. This is the AT&T 3G version. Now, the reason I said this is a 3 version, this is the Thunderbolt here supports LTE 4G on Verizon's CDMA network. So again, we're going to be doing some speed tests and hardware tests, such as the processor, memory, RAM, and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get into this review and check everything out. Alright guys? So guys, here we are with both devices on hand. Let's go through and check out the hardware specs of both devices, comparing them side by side. To begin, we've got the HTC Thunderbolt here, which has a 4.3-inch WVGA touch capacitive display with a resolution of 480 by 800 pixels. Alright, we're going to go ahead and set that down and check out the iPhone 4 here. The iPhone 4 has a 3.5-inch diagonal screen, which in this particular LCD here, Apple prefers to call the Retina display, has double the resolution of the previous models, such as 3GS. This particular one here has the 640 by 960 pixels. Now, looking at the pixelation of both devices here, you'll notice that the iPhone 4 has a higher resolution. Your images, your icons, and everything will be much more sharper, cleaner looking on the iPhone 4 than the Thunderbolt. Not to say that the Thunderbolt is ugly, but the Thunderbolt is actually fantastic. I mean, I was very impressed by the screen. For the real estate, I think it was just incredible. However, you know, the iPhone 4 here takes the punch for that particular hardware here. Now the next thing we've got is the processors. The processor speed is actually almost identical. We've got the A4 chip in here, which is the 1 GHz single core processor, and we've got the Snapdragon 1 GHz single core processor in the Thunderbolt. So as far as that's concerned, you really won't notice the difference. I mean, I don't even know if I take advantage of the whole 1 GHz processor anyways, just through my regular daily use. As far as memory is concerned, I believe the iPhone 4 here sports a 512 megabyte memory chip, while the Thunderbolt has here a 768, I believe, built-in memory. Now, storage capacity, we've got the 16 and 32 gigabyte models in this, which is standard memory. You can't upgrade or anything else, so you're kind of stuck with the maximum 32. Now with this, it comes built in with 8 gigabytes of standard memory, but you also have the option of an SD card slot on the rear panel. All you have to do is remove this plate here and to get access to that, but I'll show you guys that later in the video. The next thing I'm going to do is check the actual size comparisons. You know, with the larger screen on the Thunderbolt here, you know, you're probably wondering how much thicker is it than the iPhone? Is it going to be very chunky to carry around? Personally, you know, I thought it was fairly decent. It wasn't too much heavier. It was probably maybe about 20-30% heavier, which is, you won't really notice it, I mean, through your daily activities. Now, looking at the width of it, you know, you'll see a bit of a key difference here. As I'm holding them side by side here, you'll notice in the actual design itself as well, the iPhone 4 is more of a rectangular, flat design, whereas the Thunderbolt has a sort of a swift, curved body. Maybe you guys have seen the HTC Evo 4G. Well, this is very similar in the design to that. You know, I'm just going to hold this up again to show you guys kind of an idea how much thicker it is. And also, I'm going to put them... Well, you probably already seen them side by side as well, so it is slightly taller. Now you're probably wondering, why isn't it taller than that? Well, the iPhone 4 here has a very large bezel on both the top and bottom, and with the physical home keyboard here, or the home button there, and we got the camera there, and the mic, kind of like the headset where you listen to your phone calls and stuff with. Now the same features on the Thunderbolt here. I'm just kind of scoot the iPhone back for a second, and we're gonna focus on the Thunderbolt. Now we've got 4 touch capacitive buttons here for the home, the menu. So if you're using the internet or something, you tap menu, it'll pop up the menu for that particular applications that you're running. The back feature in the iPhone 4 here, we've got the navigation menu at the top. HTC prefers to use the back button here, and we also have the search button. Those are all touch capacitive. There's no physical button or anything like that there. And now we've got the same feature on the top as we saw on the iPhone 4. We've got the big, large headset speaker there, along with a 1.3 megapixel camera. And I'll show you guys demonstrations of that, like the image quality and all that stuff, in just a little bit. So next we have on the agenda taking a look at the physical characteristics. Again, I mentioned that the iPhone 4 here is a much slimmer, it's more rectangular, it's flat surfaced. Now I'm just going to peek over on the back here. The Thunderbolt here has a flip open stand, so it actually flips this way. It comes standard, really cool, with Google's little emblem on there, and you can just set it down just like so. It's so cool, but I think it was a little nice feature that they added built into it. There's times where you just want to stand up a phone, but it's nifty that they were able to fit that in there. Is really cool. So now again, I mentioned the Thunderbolt here runs off of LTE 4G. So currently the LTE 4G requires a SIM card. Now the SIM card is actually placed inside of here, where you can just slightly lift up on this and just pull it off. Now the first time I removed this cover, I was very scared. I just got this feeling like the back panel was about to snap off. I kind of wish HTC kind of made that a little bit easier to remove. Although I'm sure after a few times of removing and putting it back on, I'm sure it'll loosen up. But it was a very tight and very scary to get off, because last thing we wanted to do is have a brand new phone and end up snapping the back panel. Believe me when I say that. Along with that SIM card, which is in the very bottom corner, you'll have the battery. And along with the battery in the top corner, you'll have the optional SD card. Make that micro SD card slot there to upgrade your 8 GB standard memory to up to 40 gigabytes. So yes, you can install additional storage in there for music, videos, games, and all that good stuff. If you're downloading a lot of applications through Android Marketplace, that is a great place to store it. So check that out as well. Now we're going to take a look at the cameras as well. I mentioned that the Thunderbolt here has a 1.3 megapixel camera on the front. Let's bring this boy back here. The iPhone 4, he got a little lonely, but we've got a VGA quality camera here on the front, which is okay. It's not too bad to fit its main purpose as video calling. But the 1.3 megapixel camera is fantastic on the front of the Thunderbolt here. Now flipping over to the back, checking out the back camera, we've got an 8 megapixel camera here with a dual LED flash. Whereas on the iPhone 4, we have a single LED flash and a 5 megapixel camera. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and play some videos. I actually took some sample videos with both devices in similar areas, showing you guys what key differences look like, because I want you guys to kind of get a look at the difference between the photos and the videos. I personally prefer the iPhone's 720 HD video. That's one thing I didn't mention. Both devices here capture both HD 720p video. Even though they're both 720, I kind of prefer the iPhone's video. It just to me it looked a little bit better. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. Maybe it was maybe the iPhone camera is better. But what we'll do is go ahead and play the video now. So here we are again with the two devices. Hope you guys enjoyed that little sample video there of the clips from both phones here, and my Thunderbolt just turned off. So now what we're going to do is actually get into the web browser test. I've got both devices here connected to my Wi-Fi network. We're going to do some, just browser tests, see how the browsers compare to each other. Went ahead and cleared the cache, so we're going to go ahead and open up both pages here. Oops. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and downsize that. I've actually got my site bookmarked here. I think I got them bookmarked on both phones. Yep. So what we're going to do here is just tap on them and just release them at the same time and see what loads up first. Even through my use, I noticed that the browser on the Thunderbolt here is very quick. It's incredible. The images that it loads up, the speed, the rate, everything is just blazing fast. It's incredible. Compared to my iPhone 4, it's much quicker as far as web use goes. Even though whether you're using the same speed, again, I'm on the same Wi-Fi network, so you notice that the speeds were quite different. So we're going to go ahead and load up CNN here. We've got there, and we've got and punch it in there. We're going to go ahead and hit both these at the same time, and here we go. And it's off. So that one was actually really hard to tell. It's more of a nick and nick thing. It may be because it is like a mobile site. Now, one thing I do want to kind of show you guys here is the sensitivity of the navigation of the screen. Now you notice I'm going to put same pressure on both fingers here and just kind of swipe up. So I'm just going to go. Now you notice the Thunderbolt here just kept going, whereas the iPhone just kind of put enough pressure as to where I put my finger on. The more pressure I put, the more force I put downwards, the quicker it goes. Now the Thunderbolt, I can just gently swipe it, and it'll keep going, and it goes all the way to the bottom. Now if I kind of do that with the iPhone, it's much more smoother, where it's much more stable, is what I want to kind of come out with this. However, some people, you just kind of, it's one of those things you just kind of get used to after a while. I kind of got accustomed to it on the Thunderbolt here. I've been using it for about a week or so now. It's been great. So I've been kind of getting used to controlling it and stuff of that nature. But besides that, we're going to go ahead and open up the full site here. I'm going to kind of open up the action sheet here on the, oops, wrong link there. And we're going to go ahead and hit, oops. Well, it opened up in a new window. I'm going to stop that and hit go now. That was kind of unfair, but so again, that one was still kind of wrapping it up here. So there's maybe about a second and a half, 2 second difference between the Thunderbolt and the iPhone 4. So as far as loading web pages go, it's very neck and neck. It's kind of on and off. One will be quicker than the other, and the other will be quicker on another page. It usually depends on graphical intensity of the web page. If it looks like it's graphics heavy, usually the Thunderbolt will render it much quicker than the iPhone 4, and it'll be done in no time. Now, I want to mention that I don't have 4G in my area, so I'm going to do a speed test, but it's going to be over 3G. So I'm going to go ahead and go over my settings and turn Wi-Fi off and do some quick speed comparisons. So here we are with the speed test application. I figured I'd go ahead and turn the Wi-Fi off and not bore you guys with details about me turning Wi-Fi off and the rest of my life story. So we're going to go ahead and begin the test and check it out. So we've got both phones here running on 3G. Both have 3 bars of signal. So we'll test it out and see how this results in. They've been fairly similar in the past, but hey, the past is never, well, you know what they say. So, you know, Verizon's network seems to be kind of icky right now. I'm not sure why that is. It looks a bit icky. So we've got 262 kilobytes per second on the AT&T phone, but we've got, for some reason, 16 on this one. So I have a feeling there's something funny going on. Go figure. It's when I shoot the video, something funny goes wrong with somebody's network. So I'm just gonna open up my previous results and compare those with you guys as I did some previously as well. Now I'm just gonna take a minute here to match up the dates correctly. All right, we've got one on. Here we go. I did one just a few days ago. So we've got, hopefully you guys can make that out, we've got one on April 26th, just a few days ago. With Verizon's network, we've got 200, I'm just going to round that up to 225 kilobytes per second, and an upload speed of 85.5. On here, we've got 180, actually we've got, on that same day, we've got 485, and, wow, that's pretty bad, 2.5. So, you know, just to give you guys an idea, it really fluctuates depending on how many people in the area are consuming the data, as those towers are, you know, made for a certain amount of use, and when everybody chunks on there at once, you know, your data usually fluctuates. Seems to be the case with the Verizon iPhone right now. That, or they're having some difficulties, technical difficulties actually with the device. Now, I do want to mention a few things about the, I'm just going to set this aside here, just kind of focus on the Thunderbolt here. I do want to mention a few things that kind of got to me actually. Now the phone itself does not have an option to turn off LTE 4G network. Now the reason you'd want to turn it off is the battery life on this phone isn't the greatest. You know, even while using 3G, I've noticed maybe with minimal use, maybe a few phone calls, some emailing, receiving and sending emails, maybe a couple of hours of data consumption. My battery is usually pretty low by the end of the day, maybe around 20% to 10 to 15%, just maybe from 3-4 hours of use. So the battery life on this isn't the greatest. So if you're planning on using it for an extensive time during the day, you're a business consumer or something like that, making several phone calls, I would consider either having a backup battery at all times, or maybe looking temporarily into something else. That was one of my biggest concerns. And now the ability of not having the option to turn off LTE without having to download a third-party application from the marketplace was a bit disappointing, but however, it is available in the marketplace, and I'm going to show you guys actually, if you are a Thunderbolt user, I'm going to go ahead and show you that application, or any other 4G phone. It's called LTE on and off, and if you simply go to the marketplace and search in 4G, you'll be able to find it very easily. Now this phone here does operate off HT Sense, which is their new thing. It's great, I love it. The interface is very smooth. And again, we've got the, you know, I mentioned earlier, we've got the touch capacitive buttons, which as soon as you tap them, we've got the, like the vibrate. It just kind of vibrates the phone, notifying you that it happened. So we've got some options here in the very main menu here. You know, you can change your wallpapers, very customizable. We get to personalize. You can add your widgets, change the entire theme of the main display. So we can just head over to the scene here and check out the multiple. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna actually go ahead and apply the main Sense theme here, and we're gonna go ahead and wait as it loads up. And boom, there it goes. It's so cool. You know, this is actually my first Android phone using. I was very impressed. You know, I have second thoughts about Android now. I used to be very biased. You used to be very Apple, just an Apple fanatic. But you know, it's great. You know, I love what I do here. as a tech reviewer, and you know, being open-minded is great. I love this phone. Besides, you know, just as I mentioned, besides the battery life and the option of not turning it off, I think it's the price point is great. You should be able, you know, there's actually many discounts going across right now, especially on Amazon. Being able to pick these up for maybe about 150 bucks, which is you can't beat that. Again, it has 8 gigabytes of internal memory, and an additional 32 can be installed with a micro SIM. Its sound quality is great. Everything is perfect. So guys, be sure to check out VerizonWireless.com for the Thunderbolt. You can also check out HTC.com for more product specs, but also check us out at BuzzGadgets.com. We'll have all the details, more in-depth details, and written too, so you guys can actually take a look at it on there. So be sure to check us out there. Until then, guys, this is Care from BuzzGadgets.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video.